You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Since 96, MLS has been the youngest soccer league. From 10 teams to 30, playoffs to parity. Battered MLS bring local guests to cover games. Analysis firsthand, not Google like other lames. Stats and recaps cover the West and East. Can't forget, we're on Sean Johnson, watch every week. DPs for the elite, 10 Gam get you the vets. Playoff trees as American as it gets. It's time to turn off the world, grab a drink and let's go. We're Battered MLS fans, so lock in on the show. Battered MLS fans, so lock in on the show.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Battered fans are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 77 of the Battered MLS Fans Podcast. I'm your host, David Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
Shout out to Damian Guzman. What's up? Long time no see. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with us here in the chat tonight. Much appreciated.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were supposed to start at 10, so we are only 30 minutes late. So shout out to everybody. We apologize.
Better late than never, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And it's Wednesday right now. Decision day isn't until Saturday. So even if you aren't watching this live, you got a couple days to digest this because we're going to go ahead and break down what are the two best words in sports, Chris?
Decision day.
Decision day. Some people say game 7. No. It's decision day. That's the two best words in sports. And we got Saturday coming, and we are cooking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna break down what you can look forward to on Saturday. So let's go ahead and get started, Chris. I figure we can start with the Eastern Conference because it's two time slots. Eastern Conference, all the games are 6 o'clock. Western Conference, all the games are 9 o'clock. So we'll start with the East. The East is basically all the 9 teams already done. We know what the 9 teams are. Now the question is the seeding, but the 9 teams are already determined. Now Cincinnati and Inter Miami can flip-flop. You have Charlotte and NYCFC that can flip-flop. Like you have a couple things that can flip-flop here and there, but for the most part, those teams are determined. Now the Western Conference is where it gets really spicy because you have 11 teams and really 4 teams fighting for those last 2 spots. So we're going to get into all that and what to look for. But like I said, season went too fast. You know what, R&R? I don't feel like the season went too fast. I feel like this season went really slow. Not slow, but it's been long. It's been a long season, in my opinion.
Yeah, it has been. But, I mean, we're finally at the end. And it's like you said, we got a couple battles in the East that we definitely need to talk about for sure.
Well, let's do this. How about we go down from 1st to 9th, just so we can look over the game and kind of the implications that game brings.
Yeah. So then, I mean, realistically, what we'd be talking about is Inter Miami and FC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati sits in second place with.
Let's start with Philadelphia.
We're talking about Philly. Okay.
Let's start. Philadelphia already won the Supporters Shield, so they don't really have much to play for. But they are playing against Charlotte. I believe Charlotte is, they are playing in Charlotte. But Philadelphia has nothing to play for. So we could go ahead. Philadelphia has nothing to play for. Whether they win or lose, they won the Supporters Shield. They have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. In my opinion, they'll probably rotate to some of the squad just to stay fresh. As in Charlotte, on the other hand, they do have a lot to play for because they are trying to get home field advantage over NYCFC, which is the team that they probably will play in the first round.
Yes.
So for Charlotte to clinch home field advantage, they have to beat Philadelphia. They can draw with Philadelphia and have NYCFC draw or lose. And another way that they get home field advantage is Nashville loses and Miami and NYCFC lose to Seattle. It's complicated.
That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff.
But if they win, they get home field advantage, which basically means NYCFC has to play 2 of those 3 games in Charlotte.
Yeah, I think, and then on top of that, if you look, NYCFC plays against Seattle. So I mean, we'll get to that, I guess, when we talk about NYCFC. But
by the way, that's the only interconference game of the weekend. I wonder if that's a 6 o'clock game or a 9 o'clock game, actually. But that's the only interconference game of the season. Of the weekend, which is interesting.
So that game that you're bringing up, NYCFC versus Seattle, is at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So Seattle got the early start. All right, well, we'll get into Seattle in a bit.
Yes.
So let's move our way back up to Cincinnati. Cincinnati at the moment is in second place in the East. Now, if they win, they clinch the second seed in the Eastern Conference. They're playing against Montreal
No matter what.
in Cincinnati. Montreal is a terrible team. But if Cincinnati drops any points, which means that they draw or they lose, they could lose that second seed to Miami. So if they lose, I believe Inter Miami, all they need to do is get a draw and they would get the second place because at the moment they're both tied for 62 points. The reason that Cincinnati is above Miami is because they have one win over Miami. They have 19 wins. Miami has 18 wins, and that is the tiebreaker. So at the moment, Cincinnati, all they need to do is get the win against Montreal, which you figure at home they can't.
Well, you would think so, but Montreal have been some ball busters. They beat Charlotte 2 games ago, tied against Nashville. They beat Austin. I mean, I'm looking back at some of the games from Montreal against good teams, right? They tied against Orlando, and they beat against NYCFC. So Montreal themselves, they put up fights. They tied against LAFC. This was obviously before Sun. But they've put up a fight in their games, and I hope that they're looking to not get embarrassed, especially for Inter Miami's sake. But FC Cincinnati look like they're in complete control of their destiny.
They are in control of their destiny. They will end up with the second overall spot in the Eastern Conference. And as far as the Supporter Shield goes, if Cincinnati were to win, the only team that could surpass them is Vancouver. If Vancouver wins, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But as of right now, Cincinnati is sitting pretty with hosting Montreal. So that's Cincinnati. And then we'll move over to Miami, which is third place in the Eastern Conference. Now, they hold that third spot.
Yep.
And I don't think that Charlotte could even catch up to them. So Miami is locked into either second or third. They will have the second overall pick if they were to win or draw and Cincinnati loses. Now, if Cincinnati draws, then Miami needs to win. But Miami's their hope depends on they have to beat Nashville and they need Cincinnati to drop points.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, Inter Miami needs to win regardless if they want any sort of, in my opinion, sort of sake in trying to get into the second seed, because I think a draw is not going to cut it, because Cincinnati can be able to just book it, get a draw, and they'll be okay with that. But I think that Inter Miami has a hard matchup, so I think it's going to be tougher sledding for Inter Miami than it is for FC Cincinnati. Let's get to the chunky stuff here, Danny.
All right, NYCFC. They get the fourth seed and home field advantage in the first round if they win, and then you have Charlotte and Nashville lose because Nashville is still in it to get that fourth seed. So NYCFC needs to beat Seattle. They need Charlotte to lose to Philadelphia. They need Nashville to lose to Miami. So Nashville has something to play for. Now Nashville can go ahead and jump both Charlotte and NYCFC if they win and both NYCFC and Charlotte lose. Things are getting a little complicated here.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you could start to see some movement there because of the simple fact that Nashville is only 2 points behind NYCFC and Charlotte. So that's tasty right there for Nashville fans.
Now, it starts getting really spicy down here because next we have Orlando. And Orlando is playing in Toronto. Now, if Orlando were to lose to Toronto and they have either Chicago or Columbus win, all of a sudden, Orlando falls straight into the play-in game. So Orlando needs to beat Toronto to avoid the play-in game. If they lose and you have Chicago or Columbus win, which is a possibility. Let's see, Columbus is playing against the Red Bulls, and Chicago is playing against New England, which New England isn't very good. and Columbus is playing against the Red Bulls, which isn't very good. I know Toronto isn't good either. All three of those teams can win. If all three win, Orlando stays where they are in the 7th seed. If Orlando loses, Columbus or Chicago win, all of a sudden Orlando falls into the playing game, which is quite the predicament for a team that looked like they were getting really hot at the right time, and now they're not. So moving on to Chicago. Chicago, 8th seed. Again, they could jump up to 7th with a win and Orlando loss. And then you have Columbus, same thing. Oh, and Chris just left me. And Columbus, same thing. If they were to win, they are dependent on the result of Orlando and Chicago. But those three teams on the bottom can all kind of interchange. So those bottom two spots are up for grabs with those three teams. Chris, you are all over the place, buddy. There you are. There you are. All right.
There we go.
All right. Does Cincy play on grass or turf? They play on grass.
Yes.
All right. So that was the Eastern Conference. Although most things are already determined, still a lot of stuff that can happen. And now let's move on to the Western Conference where it gets really juicy.
Yeah, the Western Conference is where it gets really competitive. I mean, and it's crazy because I feel like it's very top heavy, but at the same time, like the bottom seeds are still close enough that they can be able to get in. I mean, look at this. San Jose can get in. I mean, let's get to it. Let's see what's going on in the Wild Wild West.
Vancouver plays Dallas. If Vancouver wins, they not only do they secure the top seed in the Western Conference, but in the Supporter Shield, they're guaranteed to host all the way through the final as long as they don't play against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's a bigger home field advantage than Vancouver's carpet. Maybe NYCFC, but so Vancouver, a lot to play for. Then you have LAFC and San Diego. Now, San Diego, Chris, do you think San Diego will finish second? San Diego finishes the season playing against Portland in Portland.
Well, they need also Vancouver to lose to Dallas. So I think that San Diego, unfortunately, they're just facing a tougher opponent, and they have a great team in Vancouver that's facing off against a pretty soft opponent. So I think honestly that it's not going to work out for San Diego, and they're probably going to have to sit at the 2nd seed and be happy with that.
Do you think there's any chance that LAFC passes them? Because if San Diego draws or loses and LAFC wins, which they're playing against Colorado, so they can win, LAFC moves up to 2nd seed. And Minnesota also has a chance to pass San Diego if they were to win and San Diego were to lose.
Well, it's funny because the LAFC game they play against, like you said, they play against Colorado, who also is looking to beat LAFC in order to be able to stay in the playoff run. I mean, but they need like a billion things to happen for them. Colorado.
Well, it's funny because the top 4, Minnesota plays against the Galaxy. I think of the top 4 teams, Minnesota has the easiest opponent. So let's lock them in at 61 points. San Diego could lose to Portland. LAFC, although I think they'll beat Colorado, they could draw or even lose to Colorado.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota could end up in the 2nd seed. I think there's a chance that Minnesota ends up in the 2nd seed, and you have San Diego and LAFC in 3 and 4.
Yeah, but dude, you want to count the chickens before they hatch and think that LAFC isn't going to walk away with a win with how hot they've been lately?
Okay, so let's say LAFC wins, Minnesota wins, San Diego loses. San Diego, for this beautiful expansion first year that they had, could you imagine your first round against Seattle? You know, Seattle basically has one foot into the Western Conference Finals every year.
Yeah, and like you said, LAFC would get 62 points. They're in 2nd. Minnesota would get 61. They're in 3rd. You said at the 4th seed.
San Diego, if they lose, they will drop to the 4th seed in that case.
At least you get a home game, right? Like San Diego FC, you guys happy with that? Like, hey, we're here, we're at the party, our first year ever existing. We get a extra home game just in case this goes 2 for 3.
Let me tell you something. You give LAFC home field advantage up into the Western Conference Finals, and you got a problem with Sun and
Yeah.
Wagner the way they're playing right now.
Yes.
And Minnesota, which was, I feel a lot of people said that Minnesota was everybody's like kind of dark horse. Everybody felt like they would do well. They've quietly kept up top, and they have a chance to finish as high as second in the Western Conference.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. If you end up in the top 4 or 5 in the Western Conference, I think there's a good chance that you move on to the second round, because when you look at the bottom of the Western Conference, when you look at San Jose, Colorado, Salt Lake, Dallas, even Portland, Austin,
Yeah.
I think the Western Conference is very top heavy. It's the top 5 teams in the rest.
And honestly, Minnesota, we're talking about Minnesota now. I feel like they're good enough that they can be able to make it pretty decently far into the playoffs. Minnesota, I think, is probably one of the teams that I end up saying that they'd probably be top 4 in the West.
What I say every year going into the playoffs is that tell me who the best defensive team is, and I'll tell you who I'm going to pick to go far. Minnesota has the 3rd best defense in the league. The only teams that are better defensively are Philadelphia and Vancouver. That's it. So if Minnesota has home field advantage, they could end up in on the 2nd seed, and they end up playing against a Dallas, a Salt Lake, a Colorado. I see Minnesota in the 2nd round playing against an LAFC or a San Diego, and that would be really interesting. You put Minnesota at home hosting LAFC, that defense against Sun and Wagner, and all of a sudden you got a great matchup for the 2nd round.
That is a pretty good matchup. And I can't wait till you start talking about the next team here.
All right, so we got Seattle, which already in the Western Conference Finals. Yes, they're already in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Just pencil them in. Chris, why do you look so small today?
Look, Tommy, there's been a whole deal. My computer's got thousands of viruses. I play Roblox and got viruses, and that's just what happens.
Soccer Daddy said Seattle 1st round exit. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. Now, when you look at Seattle, they literally have nothing to play for. They are locked into the 5th seed. They can't move up. They can't move down. Seattle, I think, is the only team outside of Philadelphia and Vancouver. No, actually, Vancouver can lose their spot also. I think Philadelphia is the only other team that's locked into their spot outside of Seattle. There's 2 teams that are locked in on decision day. So Seattle, nothing to really play for. They're playing against NYCFC, which bodes well for NYCFC. Not great for Charlotte or Nashville. What do you think about Seattle? It doesn't really matter. They'll be a 5th. Do you think that there's an opponent that they prefer to play? Because they would play either against San Diego, LAFC, or Minnesota.
I think I would prefer Minnesota out of San Diego or LAFC.
Really? I think Seattle wants to see San Diego.
You think so? I mean, San Diego overall is a pretty good team. They put up goals. They play pretty good defense. They got CJ Dos Striker at freaking goalie. Like, I mean, San Diego's a powerhouse, Danny.
Didn't Seattle send LAFC home last year? Where nobody picked them to win?
I'd have to look back at that. That sounds familiar, but I'd have to look back at it.
I think that Seattle is they're already in the Western Conference Finals. That's it. They're in the Western Conference Finals, and that just is what it is. Now we move down to the 6th and 7th seed. Now this is interesting because the 6th seed is basically locked in. Also, Austin can't move anywhere either.
Yeah, they're too distant away from Portland.
Right, and even if Portland wins, they have the tiebreaker because they have more wins. So Austin is locked in for the 6th seed.
Portland is kind of locked in too.
Portland can go ahead if they were to lose and Dallas were to win. Dallas, what was the goal differential? Depending on the score, they could, because it depends on goal differential at that point. So Dallas could overtake Portland. So Portland is not locked in, but I doubt that Dallas wins or that they improve their goal differential by a lot. Yeah. So Austin and Portland, we feel, are more or less locked in.
Yes.
Not too much to watch there. So let's go ahead and let's
now it's when it gets
Austin and let's skip over Portland.
Now it gets
So
sticky because now you
I'll
got
I'll let
FC.
you take off. Go ahead. You take off with the rest because this is where it gets sticky. It's 4 teams, 2 spots.
Yeah, so you got FC Dallas at the 8th seed with 41 points. Real Salt Lake at 40 at the 9th seed, and they're holding on tight, right? Colorado's right behind them at the 10th seed with the same amount of points, and San Jose with 38 points in the 11th seed. Now, I don't know if you want to start from the bottom to top,
But you
but
can
if
because I don't think San Jose is making it, which is very disappointing because everybody was so hyped about them.
listen, from what I see here in their qualifications, I mean, they need a gajillion things to happen. San Jose wins versus Austin, and basically they have to hope that Colorado lose or draw versus LAFC, which is a team on fire, and Salt Lake lose at St. Louis.
That's not that bad. I mean, I don't
That's
think Real Salt Lake's going to lose us to St. Louis, though.
but they need two things to happen in their favor and also
Well,
win
there's
their
another
game.
scenario. There's another scenario.
Okay, well, I mean, the other one is basically they win against Austin, and Colorado again loses and draws to LAFC, and Dallas loses at Vancouver. Essentially, they need Colorado to have success and either Salt Lake
No,
to,
they need Colorado to lose.
well, yes, Colorado to lose and Salt Lake or Dallas to also lose. And then the last ultimatum that they basically have is Salt Lake lose against St. Louis and Dallas also loses at Vancouver.
So they need to win and hope that Salt Lake, Dallas, or Colorado lose.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of chess piece moving there.
All right, so let's move back up. So I don't think San Jose makes it. Colorado now. What does Colorado need to make it?
So basically, with Colorado, what they need is they also need a bunch of stuff. If Colorado win against LAFC and Salt Lake lose or draw, then they're in, right? If they win and Dallas lose or draw, they're also in. So that's two different teams. Any one of them lose or draw.
My issue with Colorado is that they have 5 scenarios in which they can make it, but in all 5 of those, they need to beat LAFC.
Well, exactly.
So I don't think Colorado's making it either.
Yeah, it's tough because the rest of the sort of scenarios that they need is multiple teams to lose. Like Salt Lake loses, Dallas loses, San Jose lose, and Austin, and Dallas. I'm sorry, San Jose lose and Dallas lose, or San Jose lose and Salt Lake lose. It's just too many things that they need to happen.
Well, no, but they have a lot of they need a lot of teams to lose, and some of those scenarios might happen, but every one of those scenarios involves them beating LAFC, and I don't think they're beating LAFC.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they need to get the points, and if they can't get the points, then all of that is just throwaway.
So at the current 9th spot, you have Salt Lake, and Salt Lake basically clinches with a win. Beat
Yes,
St. Louis
that's
and
sexy. That's it. And St. Louis isn't this juggernaut. Like Diego Luna can carry. He can carry this team into the promised land if necessary.
And hypothetically, if they were to draw, they could still make it if Colorado loses or if Dallas loses. So even with the draw, as long as even if they draw, as long as Colorado or Dallas lose, they make it.
Yeah. Or Colorado can draw also.
And if San Jose were to lose, as long as Colorado loses, they're in.
Yes. So that like their scenarios are a lot more sexier. They're better odds than these other teams, Colorado and San Jose. You guys got it terrible.
Yeah, and then Dallas gets in if they beat Vancouver. If they were to draw, they just need Colorado to lose or Salt Lake to lose.
Yep.
And if San Jose were to lose their game, then they need a couple other things. They need Colorado and Salt Lake to lose. Things get a little complicated there. But
yeah, they have 6 scenarios where none of them are going to match up. Dallas, get out of here. Go repair your stadium and get some fans on the camera side of the damn games. Like, what are we doing there, Dallas?
So a lot of things up for grabs on decision day. Chris, when you look at the schedule for this weekend, which game are you most intrigued in watching? Because, I mean, obviously, a lot of these games have a lot on the line. Oh, wait. And we can't forget one of the most important things. Tommy, two-time, told us not to forget to mention it. There's a big
That is
game.
the game. That
Yep.
is the game I'm looking forward to
Atlanta
watching.
Atlanta versus DC United. Now, that may sound weird to some of you guys. Why are we saying that that's the big game? Well, they are the bottom two teams in the entire league. So essentially, they are playing for the wooden spoon.
Yep.
Now, if the game ends in a draw, DC United wins the wooden spoon, which is the worst team in the league. If DC United were to win, then the prestigious wooden spoon would go to the Atlanta United.
Yes.
So we're all in unison and cheering for DC United this weekend.
But now, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, Atlanta has 27 points. And then I'm looking at the West. LA Galaxy and Sporting KC also have 27 points. The only difference is that they have an extra win over Atlanta.
That's the tiebreaker. So if Atlanta loses, that's it. There's a cook.
Wow. I mean, all that money spent on a shy latte
spoon.
light, and all you get out of it is a wooden spoon. I mean, what are we doing?
Wooden spoon, baby. So, all right. So that's the game you're looking forward to?
Well, no, in all seriousness, as far as like games are concerned, I mean, that's going to be a pretty entertaining game. I think the game that I'm really looking forward to that's got some real stakes here is Portland against San Diego. I'm looking forward to seeing that game. Yes. Portland versus San Diego is going to be one to match out for sure.
I think Vancouver-Dallas also, even though I think Vancouver should win that, especially playing at home. Dallas is playing for seeding. Vancouver is playing for home field throughout the playoffs. Outside of Philadelphia, I think that's a very big game also, especially because Vancouver needs, in my opinion, that home field advantage. I think that's big for them. I think Nashville into Miami is going to be big also because Miami's trying to get to that second seed depending on Cincinnati. And Nashville, they need to win. And if they win and things fall correct their way with Charlotte and NYCFC, they can move from 6th all the way to 4th and host in the first round. So that Nashville into Miami game is big time also. So a lot of stuff to look out for in decision day. Again, 2 start time, 6 o'clock for all your Eastern Conference needs, and then 9 o'clock for the Western Conference. So that should be really, really fun and entertaining.
Yeah, a lot of these games are actually going to be pretty fun to watch, but I mean, those are just a number of games that we're looking forward to. I mean, if you guys want, drop it in the chat. But before you do, like and subscribe. Okay, tell your friends about the MLS show that we're doing here, and comment on the bottom what you think is going to be the most entertaining game.
Absolutely, and with the playoffs coming around, we're going to be coming around a lot more often. As you can see already this week, this is the 3rd time we come on this week. So we're going to be doing this a lot more. And maybe we'll even come on Saturday night after the 9 o'clock games are over just to talk about the bracket, see what the results of the day so we can laugh at Atlanta. Shout out to Scarves and Spikes for winning the wooden spoon. So maybe we'll come on late at night on Saturday just to have a good time.
Which, by the way, before we head out, Reaper's asking why is it called the wooden spoon? I've done my research. I got the crack staff on it, and apparently the Independent Supporters Council, aka the super secret supporters, super secret clubhouse team. Okay, they ended up starting a tradition awarding a physical wooden spoon to the last place MLS team. So that is why it's a wooden spoon.
Well, you didn't explain why it's a wooden spoon, but you explained what it is.
Well, I mean, I mean, from what I see here, it says here in British universities, the wooden spoon was a mock prize awarded to students with the lowest passing grade in math. In sports, it's been used informally across many leagues and competitions like rugby, cricket, and football, soccer to denote the team that finished last. So it sounds like it's English. It sounds like it's held with football prestige, if you will. So that is a playful or mocking way to sort of look at the losers of the league.
This is interesting. I've never done this before. Look at this. You see that popping up?
Oh yeah, that's dope.
Interesting. So yeah, it's interesting, the wooden spoon concept. But like I said, maybe we'll come on and talk about it on Saturday night after the games are over. So there's like the supporter shield, the supporter groups. Okay, there it is. The supporter groups go ahead and they give it to the following supporter groups that wins it, or the team that wins it. So what you're telling me is that they actually go ahead and hand that wooden spoon to a supporters group,
I guess. I mean, it
and
says here they
they
literally,
accept it.
yeah, continuing the tongue-in-cheek tradition. Um, I mean, so like, who holds it? Is it like one guy? Is it the
I'm
whole crew?
I'm smacking people with that. Like, why would you? I wouldn't receive that. Effing wooden
Like,
spoon.
what? First of all, is there like engraving on the wooden spoon? Is
You
your
think it
team
has it?
name like
Maybe it
on
has it
it?
like the supporter shield. You know how it has every single team
That's
that's ever
actually
won it?
pretty cool. I'm not
That is
gonna
pretty
lie.
cool. How big
If
is
you
that
if
wooden
you're
spoon?
if
I'm
you're
going to look this up
engraving,
right now.
if you're engraving, I mean, look it up. But like, if you give me this wooden spoon and you say your name is here with the year that you won this prestigious award, like that is something that is pretty cool to kind of
Oh
tote
man,
about.
people take pictures with it. I'm about to
No
share my screen.
way.
Yeah, I'm about to share my screen so everybody can see. Look, I've heard about it. I didn't know that this was like a legit thing that they like pass around. Let me share my screen a second. Here we go.
I mean,
Look,
is this?
look at that.
Oh, it's like a what? Do they have a
Yeah.
stand for it?
Yeah, I guess right
Wait,
there
hold
is the
on. Is
names
that
of
the
the
no
teams.
way, dude? Is it a spoon with a trophy case, or is that
Oh, look.
something that they made?
Oh, look at our boys, Scars and Spikes right here with the wooden spoon right there.
Oh, that is cool, dude. Look at you losers. Look at what you guys are gonna have, you wooden spoon losers. You guys are the I mean, I need to know, are the teams engraved on it, or is it just a generic
No,
wooden
yeah, look,
spoon?
it's a plaque. It's a plaque right there on the right side. And
Okay,
then they put the team names.
but is that spoon removable from the plaque?
I don't think so.
Like,
So the
what if I
first team
take
that
it
ever
off?
won it, it looks like it's Chicago FC. Chicago won it the first 2 years. Oh, that sucks.
Oh man, Chicago's a bunch of losers.
There
I
they
mean,
are.
not only are they losers, but they don't use ketchup on their hot dogs. Kidding me?
To LA, love Chicago. So LA won it, I guess. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. All right,
So
look.
there's a guy that flies from Loserville to Loserville to hand this spoon over.
Who won it last year? I don't even remember who won it last year. Was it New
Uh,
England?
I'll tell you who won it last year. If I look at the MLS standings of
Was
the
it New England?
last year, I believe it might have been New England. I'll tell you right now, Chicago had 30 points last year. San Jose actually had the lowest amount of points, 21. They were the biggest
Okay.
losers
So
in
San Jose is
2024.
going to go and fly all the way across the country to Atlanta to hand
Yes.
that over to Tommy Two Time.
Yes, Tommy Two Time is going to be waiting at the most busiest airport in the United States,
That is the busiest
waiting,
airport yeah.
waiting for this.
That's awesome. And for anybody watching, like, oh my God, you do an MLS show and you didn't know that? We're fans, man. We're MLS fans and we're learning with you. And if you want us to be more informed, please jump on the chat. We
No,
love having people on here.
who the hell cares about a loser trophy spoon? What?
Well, but
Am I
now we
supposed
know,
to know
right?
that
But
now we
now
know?
we okay, exactly. So
All right, but like if we didn't know about it before, like who cares? Get over it. Like it's a loser award. You want to know more about losers award? You're a loser.
I don't know. I think it's nice to know the ins and outs of the
That might
league.
be a little extreme. I'm gonna
Yeah,
reel that back. I'm sorry
yeah.
about that.
Look, I like learning about the league, and we are an MLS show that covers or tries to cover all the teams from top to bottom. So but we would like people to jump on the chat and the lives and keep informing us because we learn and we're fans. We're just having fun
Yeah.
here. All right, Chris. So decision day, the best two words in sports. Any final words? Oh, wait, real quick. Golden Boot. It's between Messi and Wagner, probably.
Yes.
Now, Messi has a 2-goal lead. Do you think that there's any chance in hell that Bologna goes ahead and gets a hat trick and Messi scores no goals against Nashville?
No, I don't think that that's going to happen. I feel like Messi's going to score a couple goals.
You think he'll score? I think he scores at least one. And at
Yeah.
that point, it's a tie. And I believe the tiebreaker is overall goal contributions, which Messi has.
Yeah,
right?
that's going to be absolutely in Messi's pocket.
So, yeah, I don't think he does. And then Colorado has a terrible defense. So, I mean, Wagner might score, but the thing is he needs 3. And I think Messi gets at least 1 against Nashville. So I think Messi will probably win the Golden Boot. It would be cool to see him get 5 goal contributions just so he could tie that record with Carlos Vela, 49. But, you know, we'll see.
Against Nashville, I don't think that's going to happen. Nashville loves playing defense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he might get 1. But regardless, it's going to be awesome. We appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with us for this episode. And we're looking forward to Saturday. Decision Day is a fun day. And the football for a span of 6 hours. So that should be fun.
Yes.
You gave us the final words. If you're listening on audio, appreciate you listening to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, and review. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, helps us a ton. And for those of you in the chat, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you hanging out with us for the last 37 minutes. And again, if you're live right now and haven't liked the episode, please like it. And we will be back probably on Saturday.
Yes.
Talking Decision Day, right? This was the preview. Now we're going to get to see the results. So next time you see us on here, we'll have the results in hands and we'll get excited to talk about playoffs because that's the best word in sports. So we'll see you guys on Saturday. Until the next one, have a good one.
Later.